Oh, Unreal, one of my favorite game engine of all time. I play all day all night the crap out of them. So one day, I was playing an Unreal tournament with angry German kid. I always beat the crap out of him. He smashes keyboard literally. However, I don't think I have a PC that are built to play it, even though all of my PC are capable of playing it, but since it is an epic series, I think it needs its own PC to play it. So today, let's go back to 2009 and build an Unreal PC. It wasn't that easy, however. So, how would you describe yourself? Get out of here! Excuse me? What graphic do you run? Huh. Next. Not you again. Next. Come on, man. Bring me some desktop too, not just laptop. Aha, you're perfect. Now let's see what this gateway got. An ATI Radeon HD 770, 5GB of RAM, which means 2GB each here and half GB each over here. It's got an AMD Phenom 64, Hitachi hard drive, 3TB, and I add a temporary hard drive over here, the laptop hard drive 1TB. Until I have an SSD, this will be temporary. Now, the owner is very childish when it comes to power supply. It's really fire hazard. Nobody should use this for their expensive gaming PC. Oh, Neil, and run along with this together because this doesn't supply enough power supply. So this one will be used to run this graphics card, and I think it's fire hazard, and it can blow up anytime soon. So I'm scared so much. I'm very concerned so much that I have to get a Thermotech Smart Series power supply, a 500 watts, and 80 plus power supply because it's a must to have. Not the most efficient in the world, but still better than this piece of junk fire hazard power supply. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna change it from this to this. Alright, let's start now. So we can see this is so much better than the old one, except I need to do something with this. I don't want this to touch anything and short out something. So I'm gonna get some rubber band and I think it should be good to go. Alright, that will do for now. So, which operating system should I install on my gateway? So I have a Windows Vista, Windows XP, and Windows 7. And my first decision is easy. Windows Vista? Heck no. Nobody should install this, and everybody should avoid this, of course. It's a worst OS ever, so that thing can go in the trash. Windows XP, I like the OS. The OS the best, less buggy than a Windows 10, but DirectX 11 are not supported, and some newer games are not gonna work very well at all. So I think I'll put it here, and plus I installed it on my good old Toshiba laptop already. So that left me with Windows 7. It's the last classic operating system before you have that disgusting modern UI. So I think I'll be install this one, and I'll leave it 32 bits because I need some compatibility with some old Windows XP game and a 90s game. Alright, let's install this one. This keyboard is not type better than this Dell. Not a whole lot better. So I think I would choose one of these. Now I think that can roll it out. Bye bye Logitech, you too. So now one of these IBM Model M or not get all my key. I think I would go with not get all my key for one reason. N key roll over, and you don't have to bottom them out. And there are ELF mechanical keyboard in here, like this. And plus it's a little bit quieter for gaming too. This one you will hear, it's a good sounding, but some 2009 game probably don't like it. So this at Goodwill back in 2009 cost $2. And I'm probably say $15 for this one new. So you better off buying an old mechanical keyboard than buying that new piece of junk. So you are the winner on my key. Now this is not really a 2009 setup here with this monitor, but this is Dell P2217H. It's an AHI IPS display. And it produced good color. I calibrated it. Now it look like a Sony BVM LCD, but it's still in 16:9. But I think I'll just pretend it as a HD CRT then, since they are 16:9 too. Well, the mouse, I don't have a lot of choices because this is only mouse I can use. It's a stock gateway mouse. I'm thinking about getting an IBM mouse, but I don't think I can find anywhere yet at Goodwill. So I'll just use this one for now. It's pretty big, so it should be good. Along with Gateway 2000 mat. It's a match for the gateway. So my computer is running so awesome now. I got PAE patches on there, so reading 5 GB. The processor, however, is a different story. So this is my original processor of AMD Phenom Agitha 2.3 GHz 9600, and it running so hot, so I tried to replace it, but that become a fail when the previous owner putting a made in China thermal paste way too much, and when I try to pull it out, the processor come out with it too. It's stuck on the heatsink, and what that do? It bend a processor like that, you see. So now this is not working, so I get another AMD Phenom processor, but this time it's better because now it's 3 GHz, but it said AMD unknown, so that doesn't mean it's not gonna work. So I look at this, bam, that Phenom II B95 and a same 95 watt processor, 3 GHz constantly. In fact, I think I say it's a good upgrade after I broke the pen on my older Phenom. And I will run most of this game and see how well will they run. So here we got Unreal Gold, the game that started the Unreal series. And for being a very old game, the compatibility is not an issue here running on Windows 7 32-bit. However, I had to get a DirectX 11 renderer to make Unreal run perfectly. And you can see it runs pretty well. The best I can get out of this game here is 101 FPS at the best, and most of the time 100 FPS. And the worst I can get out of this game is 98 FPS. It runs pretty well. And next we got in 1999 Unreal Tournament, the game that started Unreal Tournament. And again I had to add a DirectX 11 support, and now you can see it got pretty much the same result from the Unreal Gold. Nothing changed here, folks. It's the same FPS regarding max, average, and minimum. Unreal Tournament 2003 got upgraded with Unreal Engine 2. The results are surprising. They are run much better than the first two Unreal games. So I got 285 FPS at the best, 155 FPS mostly, and the worst one is 80 FPS, which is lower than one on Unreal Tournament. The Unreal Tournament 2004, however, gave me a biggest surprise. The best FPS out of this game is a freaking 806. And most of the time, you'll be doing 380 frames per second, which is really insane. The worst one, however, is not so bad, 180 FPS. It shows how powerful ATI Radeon HD 5770 can be, as well as how well this game been optimized for the PC hardware. And here we got Unreal 2, a sequel to the first one. The best FPS I got here is 1038 FPS, but that only for the loading screen. Most of the time it will do 164 FPS, and the worst it can get is 68 FPS, which is not bad, but exceeding 60 FPS. And here we come the game that Agitha were built for, the Unreal Tournament 3. And as you can see, it runs pretty well. Most of the time I get 62 FPS, the best is 63, and the worst you can get is 60 FPS. Both of these are exceeding 60 FPS, which is pretty good, especially when I run on max setting on this computer. It still runs pretty good. Maybe it's a good optimization thing. If you had played enough Unreal series for the day, then here is a Need for Speed 2 SE from 1996. I know this computer is too powerful to run it, but most older games do have compatibility issue, and this game however do not have issue. Usually if you have 64-bit then it is an issue, but because of this 32-bit it doesn't, and it keep constantly at 60 FPS the whole time. Next up we got Need for Speed Undercover. This game is rather optimized poorly, which means some computer won't run pretty well on it. Fortunately, Agitha run rather well on this game. The best is 81 FPS, most of the time it's 60 FPS, and the worst is 45 FPS. As long as I don't turn up an anti-aliasing, it should run fine. How about some WoW games? Half-Life 2. Because they are very well optimized, I'm not gonna surprise the fact that Half-Life 2 will run on every computer you own. Even a very crappy laptop will run this game really good. Your crappy Intel integrated graphics can run Half-Life, well, Agitha can run it better. The frame rate in the Half-Life 2, Agitha can reach 301 FPS at the best. Most of the time it stays at 276 FPS, and the worst it can get is 171 FPS. Here is the older game I play, Killing Floor 2. Here we got a frame rate of 202 FPS at the best, most of the time with 103 FPS, and the worst is 52 FPS when there are a lot of zombies or a lot of effects. Are you a fan of more value games? Agitha got you covered on Left 4 Dead 2, delivering spectacular performance. Here I run at 101 FPS most of the time, sometimes it reaches 188 FPS, and when it's really intense, 63 FPS at the worst. What about some games that are suited for kids? Portal 2, one of a non-violent value game. It uses more of your brain and less of a computer brain. And the frame rate we get here is 178 FPS at the best, mostly 103 FPS, and something getting intense, 77 FPS at the worst. Running GTA 4 on Agitha was a mixed bag. The optimization is very poor on this game, which means the game will run very slow and sluggish. The optimization was so bad that a newer PC, let alone a high-end one, runs slow as well. So here on Agitha, I am lucky enough to get 65 FPS at the best, and most of the time 35 FPS, and the worst I got on this game would be 19 FPS, which is impossible. But then my ATI Radeon HD 5770 is a mid-range card and not a high-end one, but Intel integrated graphics can run better on GTA 5, so I would consider this is a bad optimization still. On Crysis, however, it's the same story. Its optimization are horrible once again. I mean, are they trying to develop video games for PowerPC or x86? I mean, seriously, it even struggle on my newer Alienware laptop. And actually, Crysis 2 is running better than Crysis 1. On Agitha, however, it's running at 60 FPS at the best, but that's rare. Most of the time, it's 33 FPS, which is not 60 FPS. And the worst I can get out of this game is freaking 555 FPS, which is unacceptable. Now let's look at a Dirt 2. Here the game run rather well. We got the best 63 FPS and most of the time 54, which is above PAL standard, and the worst is 44. Not bad, the car going fast just like it should, but don't max out on this game. You probably need something better than HD 4770.
Get out of my way, you stupid tunnel snakes!
I can show you a real tunnel snake, Amata.
God, Butch, why don't you just leave me alone?
What are you gonna do?
Butch,
I'll
stop
remember
it!
that.
Leave him
Okay then. Here is a Fallout 3 running on HD 5770. It got an ultra setting, running at 4x NT-aliasing with HDR. But it's not HDR we're talking about now today. It's very different. And with all those settings and the card itself, it can run at 63 FPS at the best, and most of the time 60, which is awesome. And the worst is 52.
You're not worth our time anymore.
Now, just because Fallout 3 can run on this card doesn't mean Fallout 4 can. But this game is awesome anyways.
Let's go. Sure thing.
Thanks for getting rid of them. Assholes.
Okay, this game is rather a weird choice to be benchmarked on. It's the Alice Madness Return. And guess what? I think I have a good choice to choose this game. Just look at the FPS. 33 FPS at the best, mostly 30, which is standard for the console. And the worst is 18. I mean, really? 18 FPS on a freaking HD 4770 on a platform game. Good job, EA. Right, let's check out Minecraft. It's very CPU intensive game for the graphics that are pixelated like 9393. On Agitha, however, the best is 238 FPS, which is not bad, and mostly 134 FPS. However, the worst is 18 FPS. How is that even possible, you might ask? And it's because it stuttered like hell. Maybe because of the hard drive I'm using. So I won't blame the GPU for this hot mess. Witcher 2 is a bloody mess. You literally need a high-end GPU to run this game. And on Agitha, well, on medium and high setting with anti-aliasing, got me the best of 32 FPS, most of the time 26, which is not that great, and the worst one is 20. So I guess I'm probably gonna have to turn down the setting a little bit, because the recommend setting kind of not really recommended. I promise you, this is the last game we're gonna be benchmarking. The Skyrim. Running medium to high setting with 4x anti-aliasing on Agitha get me 61 at the best, and most of the time it's 56 and the worst is 46. Which tells me this game is way more optimized than The Witcher 2. And the fact I love this game too. It has a sexy character and well, you know about this game, so you know how good this game is. In conclusion, Agitha is a great computer. As you can see, most of the game pass the Gamemark. Just don't play an unoptimized game, and in fact, they are horrible anyway, so don't even play it. Now, this PC is a sexy looking, it's modern, it's still fast, even for these days. It still beats the crap out of Chromebook. And it got AMD, which is unique because I'm sick of Intel. I've been using too much. And I don't have anything else to say other than I love this PC to death. It will forever in my PC collection. And this PC will be a history someday after reaching 20 years old.